wearing Meta's new AI glasses. These are the company's first glasses with its new AI model called Muse Spark. And it's also the first pair of Meta glasses to just be branded as Meta. For Meta, this really signals a bigger push into being a AI consumer device company. Meta has been facing enormous pressure to prove that it can come up with a hit product based on the efforts of its AI research lab and the massive investments it's been making in AI. And this is another step on the way to proving that. These glasses, similar to the previous ones that Meta already sells, can do things like take pictures, play music, answer questions about the world around you. But the company claims that the new model will make the glasses more accurate at answering questions based on what it's seeing. And also it'll be better, the company says, at remembering personal information about you and by connecting the dots between what you're looking at in the real world and the conversation happening on social media. But Meta faces enormous competition. Almost every major tech company is investing in smart glasses in some way. And at the same time, there are a ton of privacy concerns around smart glasses and how these devices can make it even easier to record discreetly without the knowledge of others around you. Meta and other companies in this space do put indicator lights on their glasses to show that they're recording, but some privacy advocates say that's not enough. And for Meta, this is really a key part of its future product strategy as it, again, faces pressure to prove that it can turn all of its AI investments into a major hit product.
This is the first set of Meta glasses that we've designed from the ground up. Yeah, we can start over. We're announcing our new line of Meta glasses, and this is the first line of glasses that we have designed from the ground up to be great looking, comfortable glasses, accessible to a lot more people. We're selling them for $299, so we're quite excited about this. This is the first one that I am very excited about. Is we partnered with Kylie to design these Kylie glasses. You have a bunch of touches that Kylie put into them herself. You know, she's such a fashion icon that it was just really fun getting a chance to work with her on this. She really wanted this gem to be embedded in the glasses. I think it's a really nice touch. They feel great.
Apartment for free? But wait, there's a catch. This AI company is gathering data to train the next generation of cooking and cleaning robots. And every inch of your apartment is now being recorded. Here in New York City, AI companies are sending free cooking and cleaning staff straight to people's doors, including my own. 2 mid-20s college graduates showed up with cameras attached to their caps, connected via a lead to their mobile phones, and got to work. The data they collect will be sold to other AI companies and used to train future robots to cook and clean. But the initiative has faced backlash from critics who call it an invasion of privacy and are concerned that the robots could one day leave human cleaners out of work. So would you let them clean your apartment?
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. Just coming back with another lesson. As you saw, this devil is conditioning the people to get used to this technology. As we see, he's using celebrities and all kind of, enticing things to make you want to use this technology. And this is the same way that they're going to promote the MOTB, In this case, it's the Meta glasses. Just conditioning you to get used to this technology and the things to come. But what people don't understand, is that data, everything that's being recorded on those glasses, have to go to somewhere to be saved, like a cloud or something. So everything that you do Everywhere that you go, everything you see, they see. It's just a form of surveillance. You're just doing first person surveillance on yourself, man. This devil is learning everything about you. You got the glasses on, you buying things, using your debit card, using, your all kind of personal information, going to different addresses. And all this is being recorded and tracked. And you better believe this devil is monitoring everything that you do. We're being monitored as well, but we don't have glasses on our face, showing every move that we make. People are just ignorant, man. People are ignorant. That's why it's good to be in this truth. It's good to have great leadership within this truth, starting from Apostle Hall on down, man. Camp heads, hey, man, it's a heavy burden, but, hey, man, brothers appreciate it, because we're taught not to be of the world, So that's what's going on. So we see, what's taking place and how things are being implemented. But, let's grab a couple scriptures. Enough of that rambling. We're going to come out of the NLT this whole time with this one. So let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. And we get this all the time. Let's get it in the NLT. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. And this is the whole thing about being vigilant, watching, not being ignorant of any matter, no matter how big or small it may be, and that's in scripture also. So, we're being vigilant, man, doing these lessons, bringing out information, constantly sharing information, constantly being up on this devil's game, seeing what's coming, being vigilant. And that's what the Lord instructed us to do, man. And it's a reason why. It's a reason why these people are going to get caught out here. They think it's something noble to have these meta glasses. As they're going to think it's something noble to have the MOTB until it's forced and until everything is being taken away from you. That's where we're headed. But right now, man, we're in a surveillance state. We're in the process of being watched at all times, man. So let's go to the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2. And like I said, we're going to stay in the NLT. Let's see. Second. This. I know it's a way, that I could probably look this up, a lot easier than this. But, I thought it was easy just by typing it in. But here we are. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And we're going to drop down to verse 9. And these are scriptures that we know, but, hey, it's a reason why that is constantly being brought out through the Spirit. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting at verse 9. It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with a counterfeit power and signs and miracles. Where it's going to be being able to look through those glasses, being able to hear different languages through the glasses, being able to possibly look at something and they tell you what it is. This is the technology that they're working on. So people are going to be, hey, man, smarter than, people are going to be walking around geniuses, based just by this man's technology, which is going to eventually bleed over into the medical field, coming with the brain chip, and it's going to lead to other things, man, just healing the blind, This man is trying to be like the Most High. let's see. It says, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. How are you going to be on your way to destruction? You know, by taking that MOTB. You know, there's no coming back from taking that chip, man. You know, and eventually you're going to be destroyed by those thermonuclear missiles. It says, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. You know, when we see this every day, you know, we see it every day through scoffers, through mockers on the highways and hedges, you know, and this right here is you know, geared towards the Israelites. You know, you heathen don't stand a chance anyway. You know, you love technology. You're gonna love the chip. You know, some people gonna refuse it. Some heathens are gonna refuse it, but for the most part, man, these Edomites love this kind of stuff. They look forward to this kind of stuff, man. So let's see. They said, so the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. You know, Jake ready, man. He ready to jump on that. It says then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. Rather than listen to the prophets, man. You people would rather be in the world, rather cater to Esau, you know, take part in his system than taking part in Yahweh Shem Yahushua's system, man. You know, hey, man, we're looking forward to eternal life and rulership. So let's go to the book of Revelation. What is that path to destruction that's being talked about here, man? You know, in verse 10. Let's see, book of Revelation, chapter 3. And, you know, verse 10, we're just going to drop to verse 10, man. It says, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. And we know that's that implementation of the mark of the beast, RFID microchip, you know. So, you know, the Lord is going to protect whoever don't take it, you know, whoever endure into the end, you know, serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai all the way into the end. Once again, we'll read it again. It's book of Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take away your crown. You know, so we holding on to this truth, man. You know, Esau, Edom, hey, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushai.